Okay, sorry for that. I was logged out. Now I'm back. I was logged out. Now I'm back. So let's continue. So this is what these figures mean. These figures that we had here, these are payments. What of these totals? Let us read this. Receiving. So here we are showing what K is receiving. K is receiving here. These are receipts. So what we have here are total receipts. So these are receipts. And each one is receiving. So these are receipts. Let us indicate that I'm going to indicate here in my cell that these are receipts. These are receipts. And these are payments. That's what it is. Okay. So then we can do a net off. From the receipt, remove the payment. So what's happening? Look at the first one. What's the net position for K? What's the net position for K? The net position is 40. What does that 40 mean?
Payment.
Payment. Exactly. So the net position is that after doing a net off, they have to pay this amount. So this is a payment. So K has to pay. What of G? What's the net position? Pay. What of here? What's the net position? Pay. The only one who has a net receipt position is L. So K should raise a payment of 40 in favor of L. G must raise a payment 505 in favor of L. And J must raise a payment of 367 in favor of L. So there will only be 3 payments. So out of all these transactions that we had, the net result is that there will only be 3 payments. So we need to do a transfer, do a transfer, do a transfer. And all this money is coming here. So why do some governments allow multinationals to do this? So that at the end of the day, they only pay 3 payments. And why don't some governments allow this? What are the reasons? What are the reasons why some governments allow this process while others not allow this process of netting off? Well, it's to reduce the cost of doing business. You want to make your environment attractive to multinationals. So how do you make your environment attractive to multinationals? You allow them to do the net off. So that's the reason. You want them to find your environment attractive, reduce the cost of doing business. But what is the caution? Why wouldn't some government allow this? Well, they may not allow because this may give room to tax evasion. This may give room to tax evasion. And also, there may be some money laundering because at the end of the day, what are you paying for that 3 huge transfers? What are these? Because after a net off, you don't know exactly now which invoice you're settling, isn't it? Because these amounts may be represented by different invoices. So, as the anti-money laundering scheme or strategies or anti-tax evasion strategies, some governments may not accept this sort of netting. But the company benefits a lot because you now reduce your bank charges, your transfer charges. But in the process also, you reduce your exposure to the markets because you don't have to go to the markets and do conversions and conversions and conversions of currency. This question is quite a common question. We have seen it on our paper, okay, before. So all of you must be able to arrange this table, and all the time the question is almost the same. What is important is to arrange a table and also to come up with the exchange rates, convert the figures, and check who's paying, who's receiving, and find the net position. Yes, please, Sekule.
Yes, so one of the reasons that I'm thinking about why a country will not allow the netting is,
yes,
remember, a country has to have a balance of imports and exports, more of exports, so they have to be getting more foreign currency into the country so that their currency can remain valid and competitive. So I would think that would be one of the reasons that they wouldn't allow the netting. Could I get a point if I have such a thought?
Yes, yes. Some of you have got practical knowledge of some of these transactions, and you know about much more about these arrangements because you've practically dealt with them. So whatever you've come across practically where you've seen that the government is not allowing this, yes, it's very much acceptable. Very much acceptable. Excellent. Now, I hope we have learned something on netting. Okay. We're going to come to the next part of our discussion. Next part of our discussion now is the currency. We want now to do some hedging. What did the question say? Let's go back to the question. Yes, please.
Mr. Sorry to take you back.
Yes,
I think I've missed what my colleague said, the thought that she had as one of the reasons.
Okay.
I think the
she looked at, you know, the issue of the balance of payment, imports and exports. Okay. So when you export, you make foreign payments, you're using your foreign currency, you know, and then you are depleting your reserves. So the governments may not be interested in, you know, situations where more and more foreign currencies are being paid. Okay, so it may be something to do with the balance of payment, or because they're worried about the exchange rate. So they don't want to, because this can be huge amounts of money. Eh? At the end of the day, you know, like these amounts here, you have to pay. So why are you paying? Like you want to make a transfer. No, it's because we're doing a netting. Say, no. Now, what's happening is that we're not benefiting from the imports now or from the exports now because of this netting of yours. So you see that kind of, so it may be political. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so now let's come back the next part of our question. Let's come back the next part of our question. We're going to break this recording so that we make them briefer. Yeah, we'll make them brief. So let's